Woo woo. We're live on a Friday. We're live on a Friday. It's not Friday, it's Sunday. We're live on a Sunday. Live on Sunday. Yep. Let me make sure that the platforms tell the people that we're here. Hope y'all had a good, restful weekend. Got some non screen time. I always try to get a little bit of away from the screen time when I am on the weekend, at least one day. I do find that I still get screen time in because I have other things that I do, but I like to get to non-screen time on the weekends. I try to take at least one day. Like today I went to breakfast, brunch. I think was more brunch because it was more like 12 o'clock with my children. That was good to do. Yesterday, I graded papers yesterday. I went to a women's group also yesterday morning, which was very refreshing. Ran a few errands while I was out, so that was non-screen time, and then I graded papers. That's probably the worst part of being a teacher is grading the papers. But it has to be done because it helps me to know where the students are. Because now I have a question. I wonder, and I almost posted this question on my social media, but my question is, do you think um, the students fool around on their phone because they don't understand, or do you think they understand because they fool around on their phones? Or is it a circular chicken before the egg kind of thing? Is it a chicken before the egg, like, or chicken in the egg? Yeah, y'all know what I mean. So yeah, because I find that the students who are scrolling on their phones the most seem to be the ones who are doing the worst in the class. Now, Avery says it's the latter. So they don't understand because they're scrolling their phones. Hey, Ward, I feel like they start scrolling their phones because they don't understand what's happening. So because they're not engaged in the material and not engaged in what we're doing, they start scrolling their phone. It's almost like if you're sitting in a waiting room and there's nothing to do but pass the time, I'll scroll my phone while I pass the time. That's the view I think. That's my view. I think it's because they don't get it or the material is not where they need to be. So they're scrolling their phone there, not the other way around. Not that they're scrolling their phone and that's why they don't understand. I think it's they don't understand, so they're scrolling their phone. But I like that your input. Avery says it's the latter. Hey JG, hey JG, I know I see your picture. Hey Janae, hey Michael. Yeah, so that was my question. Maybe Janae has an answer too. Is are we do students scroll on their phones or as they say play on their phones? Do students play on their phones because they don't understand or do they not understand the material more because they've been playing on their phones? Because when I look at the grades, the students who are the biggest offenders of fooling around on their phones are the ones who have the worst grades. And I'm not, hey Valen, hey Tanya. Now I could be, I could be the teacher who treats them like this is still high school and harasses them about phones. Put your phone up, da 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 da. But I also feel like this is college, and this is where you're learning some personal responsibility. And if scrolling on your phone is not working for you, then you need to be able to identify paying on my phone is counterproductive to my success. I'm thinking there's going to be some wake up calls when it comes when I hand those tests back because I'm going to, and when I hand the test back tomorrow and Tuesday, I'm going to have that discussion very openly, not with anybody in particular, but I'm going to toss that out there that the grades that are um, the worst grades are the ones that I can see who are on their phones more than the others. That's my plan. That's my plan. Very passive aggressive like. Because really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. They can put on their phone the whole time they're in there. They don't even have to come, even though not coming is a quick way for me to fail them because we do have an attendance guideline. But if you want to sit in here and scroll and waste the time that you're here in this class playing on your phone, then you get what you get with that, right? That's kind of my philosophy on that. Okay, let's go look at. I've given the platforms enough time to tell the people that we're here. To tell people it's Sunday. It's Sunday evening, September the 14th. All right. Hopefully, again, everybody had a really good weekend and some non-screen time, some time away from your screens. It's Sunday evening, so now we're starting to look back at it. Janae says scrolling is passing the time. It's an active but passive thing to do. Brain cells dying. Yeah. But brain cells definitely dying. It's like you could be engaging and firing on these cylinders so much better if you were just to engage yourself. Yep, that's it. That's it. Okay, so now let's look back at last week and see what last week had to include. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen with you. There we go. This is the weekly chart, first of all. So this is SPX last week. It's a little bit of a gap that was left between these 2 weeks. It's very little that is left. Basically, the week opened around 64.98, just below 6,500, and ran up as high as 6,600. It pulled back from that on Friday, but we closed the week at 65.83. All right, opened at 64.97, did a dip back into the 64, a little bit lower, and then ran up. Friday was the all-time high, and we are SPX is at all-time highs. I could have a no phone rule in my class. It's just that I don't want the responsibility of maintaining the rule. I don't want to be patrolling the rule the whole time. I'm here to teach math. I thought about that. I'm here to teach math, and I could very easily institute a no phones policy. But I'm not trying to manage your life for you. I feel like, even though these are college kids who are 18 years old, who, brains haven't developed all the way and they need some guidance, but I'm like, some lessons are hard lessons to learn. So I'm waffling back and forth on what to do. I can do a non-phone policy, but again, I'm not trying to have them sneaking and doing, and I'm trying to be managing that the whole time I'm teaching class. Yeah. Okay, so this is the daily chart. This was Monday, Tuesday, hammer, which is where there was a little gap created here coming off of this hammer. Little bit of a gap there. It's quite small, but there is still one. That gap was filled, right? There's a little gap there. Nope. What are you doing? Stop it. Okay. There's a little bitty gap here, this little gray. And then this was Wednesday, pulled back a bit. We had a gap up and a pullback on Wednesday. This was CPI day. CPI day was pretty much down all day, and then it recovered some. And then we had Thursday. Thursday was a gap up day, which there's a gap that was left behind from Wednesday to Thursday. There's a gap here. That is a gap that will need to be revisited. And then from Thursday to Friday, there was a gap up open on Friday, but you see that Friday was, for the most, for all intents and purposes, Friday was a little doji looking candle. Not a lot happened. Friday was like a nothing burger. It had moved so much on Thursday that Friday just became like an iron condorish, but it was so tight for a while that it was like, where to now? Now, what some would say, and I probably would agree, is that we took this time on Friday just kind of sitting so that way it can go in one direction or the other. will it pull back some? If I was a betting woman, and I'm not a betting woman or a guessing woman, I would say we're probably going to pull back some, because we've got CPI coming, not CPI, FOMC coming this week, and the rate cuts. Even though I feel like the rate cut thing has already been priced in, I think the 25 points is priced in. I don't think the 50 basis points is priced in, but that doesn't mean that the market won't fall or pop on, because some people are excited about 50 basis points reduction, or, and that may be a bullish move and may push us even higher, may push SPX even higher. All remains to be seen. If you watched my video yesterday, you heard me say toward the end of that video that I trade SPX every day. So whatever it's doing today is what I'm trading. I'm not necessarily thinking, what is it going to do in multiple days? I'm literally trading it day to day, today. Okay. So not really trying to speculate where we're going. Even this is SPX, triple Q, SPY is going to look very similar. We can do a look at IWM, because IWM really doesn't follow the same, that says IWN. IWM really doesn't follow the same movements as I kind of want to empty all this. Yeah, it doesn't really follow the same movement as SPX. It's a small cap, and it doesn't move the same. It kind of has its own little situation. We're actually, tonight when we're on our members call, we're going to spend some time talking about IWM and XSP. I got a bit of a plan we're going to discuss, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about sharing it with y'all. Okay. So 236 was the support there. 240 is kind of where it stayed all week. This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, big pop Thursday and Friday. Basically stayed in a zone for the past 6 trading days. It's been inside this zone, actually closing the zone on 7th day. So it's been here for a minute. Okay. That's IWM, really staying between 236 and 240. Hey, Lisa. Happy Sunday. Let's go see what's coming up for this week. Wall Street is saying, what Wall Street is saying about the Fed's next rate decision. It's the worst kind of setup for the Fed, one economist told Yahoo Finance. Why Tesla's board wants to make it rain for Elon. Trump's Ivy League deals are set to funnel cash to trade schools. Actually, I don't blame the whole thing about trade schools. I think we need to have a push. We need to push students back into trade schools, along with college. I think we've for a long time pushed everybody into college, but everybody's not straight. It's not college material, and we still need the trades. We still need plumbers and HVAC and electricians and carpenters and, hairstylists and nail techs. We still need all of those things. Shoemakers, bag makers. We need all of those things. The things that you learn at trade school. We need all of that. Construction folks. We need builders. We need all of those. So if everybody goes to college or, becomes influencers, who's going to do things like fix our air conditioners too? We still need people who do that as well. Okay. Takeaways from Goldman Sachs tech conference, 7 personal loan myths. Fed's decision loom as markets hover near records week ahead. Trump makes a new push for court approval to fire Fed's Lisa Cook. Bro, move on. Go on to the things that matter, because firing her is not it, I don't guess. But maybe he feels like it is. I think we got bigger fish to put in the grease. I think we got bigger fish to put in the grease myself. Come on. Okay. CNBC, Democrats dig in on healthcare as threat of government shutdown looms. That's a big deal. I thought I heard somebody say something about the government shutting down and staying shut down. Like, what? Please. We have way too many government agencies to shut down and stay shut down. Are you crazy? No. The families in Obamacare brace for higher healthcare premiums next year. Not talking about Charlie Kirk. Trump administration seeks $58 million security boost after Charlie Kirk assassination. Yeah. Okay. There is all of that on CNBC. If you want more information now, you can go over and check out and dig a little deeper. Here's our list for what's coming up this week. Now, ding, ding, ding. The thing, the big thing is happening on Wednesday. Monday, Empire State Manufacturing Index is an orange folder at 8:30 before market opens. Not too much there. I think we're going to have kind of, I don't want to say quiet days, because I know as soon as I say we're going to have quiet days, there won't be. Right? Tuesday, we've got core retail sales and retail sales at 8:30, so before the market opens. 9:15, capacity utilization rates. 10 o'clock, business inventories, National Association of Home Buyers. And 4:30, we've got weekly statistical bulletin. So kind of nothing on Tuesday except for the retail sales first thing in the morning, which retail sales is an indication of where we are with our inflation. Then on Wednesday, building permits, housing starts, crude oil inventory at 10:30, but at 2 o'clock, all eyes on 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Now, this is a deal where we always talk about, and I'm sure I'll talk about it again on Wednesday, that we kind of either make sure we trade and lock it down, or we wait till after and ride the wave, because we know it's going to be a lot of volatility. It's amazing. At 2 o'clock, like on the nose, there will be some kind of a huge movement. Before any announcement is made, before anything sets out, there'll be some monster move. Adam always calls it basically the thing that's going to just trap us. The trap, it'll be one move to trap people thinking that's what we're doing, and then it'll go the other way or still go that way. It's just that first move generally is the try to be the fake out. Thursday, we've got unemployment in the morning. That's really it for the day. Friday, nothing. Friday, we'll be absorbing. Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be absorbing what happened on Wednesday. Friday, we'll be absorbing what happened then. That's how that'll go. Okay. That's how that will go. Let's go see what the earnings for this week. We got Monday morning, Hain, Celestial, and Mind Walk. Monday after close, we've got High Tide and Dave & Buster's. Y'all think High Tide is cannabis? That would be a nice play on words. High Tide. Ha ha ha. Dave & Buster's is Monday after school, after the close of the market. Tuesday morning, Ferguson after close, Evolution, and Flux. Wednesday, General Mills, Innate Pharma, Manchester United, and Quantasing is all Wednesday before market opens. Wednesday after close, Cracker Barrel, Bullish, and Sangoma. Did y'all see that Cracker Barrel this weekend offered a buy one, get one free on the traditional breakfast? You buy the traditional breakfast and get one free. When I passed by the Cracker Barrel this morning, it was like just this weekend. But when I passed by Cracker Barrel this morning, I was going to meet my children at another broken egg. But I passed by the Cracker Barrel. There was cars everywhere. I said, there is no way I would go off in there right now, because I guess if nothing else, they sell stuff out of the little country store because people just standing around waiting. Because you're just looking at all the little stuff where usually you just go in, get your seat, and then leave. But if you stand around, sitting around, waiting for your name to be called, might as well buy some stuff while you're there. One of the things I used to do at Cracker Barrel when I would take long trips, I would go to Cracker Barrel and buy one of their books it was a book on CD at the time. I think they still have them, but a book on CD. And the way Cracker Barrel works is you could get the book on CD there at one, and you could return it at, of course, any other Cracker Barrel. It's literally a return. And if you kept it a week, they took off some of the money, and 2 weeks, some of the money. But if you returned it within a certain period of time, they gave you all your money back. So I would do that if I was on. This was before the library started really having CDs to check out. I would just buy one at Cracker Barrel and on the road, and then listen to it while we were riding. And then when I was done listening to it, I'd take it back to a Cracker Barrel and get my money back. That's what I used to do. Thursday, you got Darden Restaurants in the morning and FactSet. Thursday after close, FedEx, Lennar Homes, Research Solutions, and Scholastic. Now, who's the man? What's the man's name? Buffett. Warren Buffett is into the housing market these days. He's supposedly moved his money over to housing in the housing area. So that may be, I don't know if that catches anybody's interest, but Warren Buffett has started to put his money over there. And then Friday morning, we got Money Hero. That's the That's what's going on there. All right, let's move to see how did we do last week on our trades list. Trades list last week. Yep. Oh, no, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. Last week, they do have pretty good pancakes. I do agree with that. They also have a good a fried chicken breast. They take it, and I'm not sure how they make it so tender, but they have a chicken breast, and I usually get sometimes the chicken in the pancakes and make it like a chicken and waffles kind of thing. I'll get that when I go there. Their biscuits are pretty good too. Where was I? Okay, sorry. I will get lost inside of which restaurants because my husband and I think are foodies. All right, so last week, 10 out of 11 profitable trades. I say, snap it up. Yes. And the one that didn't make it was Walmart. Walmart was on the put credit spread and the call credit spread list. So if you had gone with just put credit spread, you would have been fine. It breached only partially. I think it closed at like 103.50, something like that. But you probably could have got out of it early in the week because Walmart pulled back a little bit initially. But not 10 out of 11 profitable trades, and the only one that wasn't profitable was only a partial breach. Yes, and yes. Okay, so that was a 91% win rate for last week's list. I did not put together a list for this week, even though I am trading a few things this week. I am trading I'm trading Amazon, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble. And if you're on my email list, you've seen this. Procter & Gamble, and I want to say IWM and XSP. Those are the ones I'm trading for this week. And my plan is to have them closed up before Wednesday at 2:00. That's my desire, is to have them closed up before then, just so they don't get caught in the melee of the rate cut swings, because there will be swings. Yes, there will be swings. All right. So I didn't do a list for this week. Can I ask what's the difference between the SPX for daily profits training and the masterclass training? Sure, you can. So the SPX for daily profits is just about SPX. It includes all the different strategies that you can use to trade SPX. They're all credit spreads, but they talk about timing, when to enter, what do you use as your strike selection. So it really leans more into how do you trade SPX. The masterclass, the credit spreads masterclass, is about credit spreads on any stock, right? It's not SPX specific. The SPX daily profits class is all about how to trade SPX for 0 DTE. I think it might even have some 1 DTE and some weekly stuff in it. But the credit spreads masterclass is about credit spreads on any stock that can be weeklies. You could use it for dailies. It kind of walks through what are credit spreads and how do you trade credit spreads. The SPX day for daily profits really kind of starts with the knowledge that you already it starts with the understanding that you already know something about credit spreads, and it takes you into how to use them. The credit spreads masterclass starts with, you don't know anything about credit spreads, let me teach you about those. So they really can be put together. One does not replace the other. Okay, they are two separate types of classes, and they could be put in conjunction. And if you're interested in trading with us in the membership, then you definitely want to have a good understanding of credit spreads, because that's what we use primarily in the membership. So I hope that was clear, Tyrone. I hope that was clear there. Hope I answered your question. Okay, so there's that. Let me see. Yesterday I put out a video. I need to find the link so I can give y'all the link to this video. The video I put out was it was like a recap of my trades this week, my profits this week, my trades this week. It was a recap of that. And if you hadn't watched that video, if you're on YouTube already, go ahead and don't go watch it now, because I'm on here now. Wait and wait until after you're off with me before you go and watch that video. But if you haven't, go and check it out. Go and check out um what I did during the week. Y'all know, I talked about August was a red month for me. It was the first red month I'd had in quite a long time, and it was uncomfortable, but it was good for me that I was afflicted, because it's definitely going to give me some more information to use while I'm teaching, when I'm teaching in E2T University, because sometimes when you're removed from a thing, you can't identify with somebody when they have to go through it. But now that I've been through it very recently, I have not forgotten. I have not forgotten. I have not forgotten what it feels like to be on the losing side. Okay. So I'll be able to help really realistically walk you through what do you do when you're coming out of a losing streak, if you want to call it a losing streak. How do you get out of a losing streak? So go and look at that video. I put the link in the chat. If you hadn't seen it, you can go over and check that out. Okay, go check out. If you on my email list, you've seen these. I've sent a couple of emails over the last several days, and you can see all of these things. Okay. I think that was that. E2T University is starting up next Monday. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm actually working on the companion workbook that goes along with E2T University. We're going to start next Monday at 7:00. Now, this is the last weekend for you to get in on the payment plan. If you want to do the 2 payments, this is the last weekend for that. Okay, after the 15th at midnight, and I've given it to the 15th because I know there's people who get paid on the 1st and the 15th, so that's why I've left it there. Maybe waiting for your second check. You paid the mortgage with that first check, and now you're ready to do your E2T University with this one, or paid your bills with the first check. Okay, but this is the last weekend to use the. Let me see. I'm gonna say take advantage. To take advantage of the payment plan. Okay, if you're trying to do a payment plan, you need to go in and get yourself signed up, because this is the last weekend that you can do that. Go to educator to trader.com to enroll. All right, you can go ahead and get started with us. We're starting next Monday. At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Yes, we are. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Okay, I'm done with that. Let me go back to the charts, and then we'll look at. I think I covered everything I was going to cover in there. Yep, I covered everything I was going to cover over there. Back to you, Jack. Okay, so let's go back to SPX. We will look at, again, this is the week. This is what SPX looked like on the week. Don't know if this is the start of a reversal. Very well could be. Friday was a red day. Could definitely go into a reversal and turn it around. It could, because we hit that 6,600, and the market's like, well, what are we doing up here? And again, we've left a few gaps down here that need to be addressed. Got a little bit down here from, 65.32 up to 65.45. There's a gap. So this could be a reversal. It remains to be seen. Definitely remains to be seen what happens there. All right. Take it day by day. But supposedly I didn't put it in my group because I had gotten it from another person who announced it or said something about it. But they made a statement about, The repricing for October begins Monday, or the usual on Tuesday between 11 and 2 Eastern Standard Time. VIX repricing. I never heard of VIX repricing, first of all. About 15% VIX rise. This will have a corresponding, but to a lesser percent, significant technical drop on SPY. Yeah, I'd never heard of VIX repricing. So I thought that was interesting to see that that was supposedly something that is potentially a pullback. Let me ask my buddy here while I'm talking to y'all. What is VIX repricing? I never heard of that, but we'll see. Okay, so that's SPX. Now this is SPY, which looks very similar to SPX. No shock there. Those, they run like buddies. They made up of the same stuff. SPY has a lot more volume and stuff to it, but it did the same thing. Nice. Well, I'll say nice. Doji on Friday. Really nothing there. Friday for SPY just kind of set like a nothing burger too. Where are you? Oh, there we are. There we go. That's the resistance at 657.41. Went up as high as 659.11, almost to 660. Not quite. A few little small gaps. Also, just like SPX had gaps left behind, so does SPY. Again, they're made up of the same stuff, so that's not shocking at all. All right, let's go look at triple Q. Q. Yep, that gap is filled. Got filled there. But let's see. There's the gap on triple Q is not quite as big as the one on SPY. That one's closed. That one's closed. That one's closed. Yep, all these other gaps. Well, not this one. There's also one right there. A gap is from the close of one candle to the open of another candle, open of the next candle. It's not just spaces between two candles. That's not necessarily a gap. A gap is the close of one candle to the open of another. So this would be, let me see if I still got the gap tool on. Nope. So this here, even though it got filled from this two candle to this orange one here, that would be a gap. It subsequently got filled, obviously, but that would be a gap because it's the close of one candle to the open of the next. This would be a gap. It was filled by this price action here. It was filled by that price action, these two candles, but this movement also left another gap behind. Okay, so it says in market terms, VIX repricing refers to a sudden, meaningful adjustment in the price of S&P 500 volatility options. The VIX index is derived from SPX options. Here's what it means in practical trading language. Repricing happens when traders rapidly reset their expectations for future volatility. It's not a gradual drift. It's a jump in options premium as dealers and funds hedge new risk. There's liquidity gaps, dealer positioning shifts, effects on the markets. It really makes some crazy price action. When traders talk about VIX repricing, they mean the market is suddenly charging more for protection because perceived risk has jumped. Something credit spread sellers and iron condor traders need to factor into strike selection and sizing. Okay. I'll make sure I put that information in our Telegram for those who are in my membership. We'll talk about that some more. There's another gap down here. This is triple Q, which I don't really chart triple Q like this, but there's some gaps in the building, We got to make sure that we identify those. Okay. There's a few of those. Now let's go. I think we looked at IWM. Let's look a little closer. I just put some lines on it right there. I didn't really charted, but the Thursday to Friday left a gap. It gapped down and didn't go back up there and fill that. So there's a gap on IWM from 240.32 to 240.81. It's about 50 cents. Not a big old gap, but a big enough old gap that it needs something just ain't right. Who is that? Was that Keith Sweat? No. Was that Keith Sweat? Or Guy? Something just ain't right. Who is that? Hey, Carla. Let's see. Okay, yep. Okay, so IWM, nice little green run up. It ran right up into 240.80 or 240.80 something and pulled right on back. Like, nope, back like I left something. Came right back into the zone that it had been in for a while, right? Have been trading in for a few days. IWM closed on Friday, 238.34. All right, that's Keith. Keith Sweat. Yeah. Thank you, Janae. I knew you would know. I know my girl would know because, I can murder the hits. And Tyrone's like, yep, Keith Sweat. I thought that might have been him. So, okay, that's IWM. All righty. So let's see. What's our plan for next week? What is our plan for next week? Okay. Monday, there was really nothing on the list for meetings and data and that kind of thing. So you're basically watching what you see, trading lightly, right? Just know there may be some volatility, and we're credit spread traders, we're sellers, we're going to trade what we see. Tuesday, same thing. These things, Monday and Tuesday is going to be kind of set in anticipation of what is coming on Wednesday. So of course, our membership is going to stick with SPX and XSP because that's what we trade. But there's also, you can also go to individual names that are non-S&P 500 related. You can stick with individual names and trade that. Or, of course, always can watch. We can always watch. Watching won't be any fun, though. It's not as much fun, but you could just watch. But I think if you're going to pick a watch day, it probably would be Wednesday. Go ahead and try your hand at Monday and Tuesday. Chart what you see in the morning. Make sure that you chart, your highs and lows and all those things you need to do to make sure that you're prepped and ready. And you trade what you see. Notice the numbers that are on my chart are strat numbers. If you are new to the strat, 1, 2, and 3 gives you some indication of what you should do as far as entries and exits. I have a video on my channel about the strat if you don't really know about the 1, 2, and 3, but those give us entries and give us exits. Even for credit spreads, it can be used for buyers or sellers. Strats can go to either one and can be used on all the time frames. So you've got actionable signals you can work with the strat, and we trade. I'll say we trade based on those. We look at them. There's some that we like more than others. Yes. We got some that we like more than others. Yeah. Okay. I believe I've covered everything I was going to cover. I talked about what happened last week, talked about what's coming up this week, talked about E2T University. And if you're going to join us, if you want the payment plan, you need to go ahead and get on the payment plan in the next couple of days, because it's not going to be a payment plan after the 15th. You're going to have to pay for the whole thing. But I know there are people who really want to and need to join E2T University. I know this. I know there's people who really need it, whether you think you do or not. That if for nothing else but technical analysis, we're going to talk about VWAP. We're going to talk about how to use moving averages. We're going to talk about how do you use fair value gaps. How do you use gamma? These are 4 things that you can use to help you be successful in your trading every single day. Okay, we're going to talk about candles and the strats. We're going to talk about that. We're going to lean in, and we're going to get into strategy, and we're going to get into mentality, because it don't matter what strategy you got. If you don't have your brain under control, then you'll jump out of every trade, because your money mindset and your brain will have you jumping out of a trade, because you get nervous, we get scared, we get worried that we're going to lose our money. Before you know it, you up and gone. Poof. Where the trade? This don't expire till Friday. Here we are Monday, and you gone already. You ain't even got in the trade good. You already done closed it back up. All right, you already gone. Okay, so if you're gonna do that, then go ahead and go over to educatortotrader.com and get started. If you're hanging out with us, please like and subscribe. Pass the word to the people. Check out the videos I sent you. If you're in my membership, we will be going live at 6 o'clock. All right, we're gonna be live on Zoom at 6 o'clock. And we're going to do our charting and training this evening. And for those of you who only hang out with me on YouTube, I will see you all. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, what else? Twitter. Hang out in all those 4 places. I will see you all tomorrow morning at 8:30. At 8:30. All righty. Goodbye, everyone. I will see you all in the market. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.